And now we're starting on year two. Year two. I want to welcome everyone to True House Stories. And today we bring you a very important 53rd show. Person I call a friend, dear friend, a proper lady in every way. A showman or showgirl, I say with class. Has turned stages out. I've experienced it with her. I worked with her. She is the class act. You all remember Alison Limerick, Where Love Lives? You remember? There she is, and still going stronger and better than ever. God bless Alison Limerick. Hello, my dear.
Hey,
How are you?
Lenny. Hi.
She is in quarantine, she said to me off camera. Quarantining.
I am quarantining. Yes, I am. Yes, I have to stay home for 10 days. Yeah.
So let's talk about that before we get into the first questions. Everybody knows that I'm going to ask, of course, because it gives everybody time to mosey on in. Because you're like a nightclub, they like to mosey on in. So how the hell has COVID been with you? How have you dealt with COVID?
Oh, when COVID first locked the world down, I thought, as we all did, can't be, how bad can it get? And so I thought, I have to be home. I'm going to do that thing that everybody did, maybe every woman did. I'm going to clean the house. So I did. I became my mother. I emptied.
You became your mother's child, right?
I am my mother's child. I cleared out my loft space. I cleaned my loft space. I took everything out. My loft space is now labeled, and I know everything that's in there. It's not just a dumping ground. I labeled everything, and then I started at the top of the house, and I went down, enthusiastic, working.
How long did it take you to do all this cleaning and
the full thing probably took, I don't know, but maybe a month in all.
Okay.
But really, mate, every book, I've got a lot of books. I've got a lot of records. Every shelf got emptied. Every book got dusted. Every cupboard got. I found clothes I did not know I had. I emptied under beds and in the shed in the garden. I did everything. Scrubbed windows, and then I was finished, and the lockdown was still happening, and I was like, oh. Well, I'm not doing that again. So then after that, you give yourself projects. I've been writing a book for a long time. I've been writing a children's book since my nephews were born. And I thought I'm going to do it. So I had the book project that I threw myself into. I had 2 singing projects that I was working on. I threw myself into that. And you fill your days, because I could stay home. I was lucky enough that I could stay home without kind of going crazy. I've got space. I've got a garden. I did a lot of Zoom calls.
I bet.
I had regular Zoom meetings with family, with friends in America, with friends in Australia. I Zoomed like a professional.
They could have made the commercial with you, right? You were the Zoom master.
They should have come to me.
Alison, our Zoomer.
Yeah, but then you just run out of steam, because what I wanted to do,
right,
was work with people. I mean, yes, someone can fire you a track and you can fire them back a vocal, or you can kind of Zoom together and talk through a project, but it's not the same as being in the room with someone. And I was I'd just done the first gig just before lockdown. I'd done the first gig for my live project. So it's a brand new project. I have a jazz project called Algorithms. And we'd just done our first gig to promote the upcoming album, which we were still working on. And it all stopped. That was hard. Let me
ask you that question. Let me ask you that for a second. Was it believable when you heard the word, we're going lockdown? Like, did you really believe what was coming in front of you? Like, or was it like, it's going to be momentarily? Like, we're going to get through this. Like, we'll be back next month. We'll be running again.
Once I'd had a little bit of information about the disease and what it was doing and how devastating it was, I was quite prepared to be the good girl and toe the line, but I really did not expect it to be 5 months and then 8 months and then a year. That is the thing that really quite freaked me out and then started to scare me. I mean, I actually had somebody very close to me that I'd worked with back in the 80s. Really, really lovely guy, fit, just smiley. And he got it really bad and he was in a coma. So I took it really, really seriously. So yeah, I mean, I took it seriously but still wasn't quite prepared for the fact that it went on and people were dying and people were getting ill. Even if they weren't dying, they were still just getting ill. It was hard. It was scary. And which is why I stayed home. I had the food came in and every so often I would put my mask on and go out for a walk. You know, don't touch me. Don't touch me.
Get away.
Yeah.
Like
crossing to the other side of the road if you got a bit busy. All that just because I think I felt quite selfish at certain points because I was thinking not just, oh, this disease will kill me, but also this disease might not kill me, but it might take my ability to sing away, because that what it's one of the repercussions of surviving it is that you have lung damage or you can't sing. And the idea of a disease that would strip me of my joy, because singing is my joy.
That's like maiming you, basically. That'd be like maiming you.
It would. And it would be one of those injuries that nobody else could see. Terrifying. Is it? Yeah. I was, yes, a bit worried for a long time, but still, when we got to the end of 9 months and there didn't seem to be an improvement, or that there were certain industries. I mean, actually, at that point, I guess in England, certain industries were starting to wake up, reawaken. But my industry, music industry, entertainment industry, locked down completely, and no view on the horizon of when we would get back to normal. We're still not back to normal, but at least things are opening up and we're starting.
Which is very confusing to me. It's like the Delta variant is out of control somewhat. Okay, screaming in the UK, but yet the Parliaments went on holiday, and they open up right when Parliament has to go on holiday. So I was kind of like wondering a little bit about that. I wanted to ask. I know you're very politically. You're like me. We've had our political conversations over the years about our governments. We've talked about this, but we're going to keep it clean. We're going to keep it clean. And others don't.
They are numpty. I'm sorry. I'm going on record. Bunch of numpties.
I told you, everyone, get brace yourself.
Their policies make no sense. They go forward. They go backwards. They say stop. They say go. Down. They say let's have the football. They say, oh, we're going to open up. You can't go to a gig, but you can go to the football.
Yeah, everybody was saying the same thing.
You can go to the How does that work? But you can't do a concert. Huh?
How's that work? 50,000 people at the FIFA screaming, going nuts.
Yeah. So I have been working in Europe where they have got it sorted. And also testing in Europe. If you want to get an antigen test, you walk into a chemist in France, you go, I need an antigen test. They test you. You say, how much? They say, and you leave. Nothing. Here, you want an antigen test, it's going to cost you huge amount of shekels. So who do you think is testing more? Europe or here? And we're in trouble. England is in trouble. We need to make testing easy and vaccinations easy. We're finally making it easy for young people to get the vaccinations because they're having walk-in clinics rather than having to make an appointment online. I mean, I've never found making an appointment online tricky, but young people, they would much prefer go,
See, I don't understand young people. I noticed that here too. They're so savvy with their smartphones, but yet to do something as simplistic as making they don't want to make an appointment.
They don't want to make an appointment. So, okay, bang their heads together if you like, but while you're banging your heads together, at least make it easier for them to get a test. So they've got pop-up clinics are happening in England now. Yay. Places where young persons gather who go, oh, I could get it now. Because it's all immediate. It's like the instant gratification generation. They see it, they do it, they want it, they're done. They don't want to have to make a plan, because even if they do make a plan, if something more interesting happens, they're going to go do that because they're young, and that's what you do when you're young. So if you see a clinic and you can walk in and get it and get your results, then that's what they'll do. Let me
say this to you. I've seen a lot of anti-vaxxers saying, F the vaccine, blah, blah, blah. And lately, because of this variant going on, I'm also seeing a lot of people posting those same people are not making it and they're passing. It's tough. It's a tough call. So I'm wondering which would you rather do? Get the jab and live, or not get the jab and chance not making it? It's crazy.
Well,
as I'm seeing, I'm not. I'm just from what people out there. Listen to me carefully. This is not my words. This is what I'm seeing. People writing things saying this guy was on all those. What do you call it? People were anti-vaccine. In Washington, in London, screaming. All this going on, and a lot of them are dead now, and that's what's scary.
Yeah, but also while they were out there non-masked, screaming and shouting, they were gathered together doing the thing that people say probably not a good idea to do without a mask on.
Right.
So, I mean, I'm a belt and braces kind of girl. I am. I will, and then keep you at a distance. But that's me. I can't speak for other people, but it scares me that so many people seem so vehemently opposed to something with what seems to be not enough proof.
Fair enough.
And so I'm double vaxxed. I'm an old lady, so I'm double vaxxed. I've had no repercussions from it. In fact, don't tell the world, but I had no side effects from the jab. The arm didn't hurt. I didn't feel fluey. Nothing. No repercussions at all.
Good.
And so now I'm feeling more able to go out into the world, more able to get on a plane and go and do my job. I want to be able to do my job. And
You're
I want
an ambassador. You're an ambassador of the UK. You need to do your job. You need to spread that love. And it's true.
Yeah, we so need, the world needs as much love as it can get right now. And if I can help to do that, if me and my band and me and a few music makers can do that, then let's get to it.
So be it. Now, you heard that. Let's get to it now. First question out the box. We're going to make it so easy, and then she'll take it from there. Of course, everybody knows. How does music, or did you find the music as a young girl?
That's easy. My family are musical. My mum sang and she played the piano. My older brother, sings. He plays the piano. He plays the guitar. My dad, my mum and dad split up when I was a kid, so I didn't really have much influence from him, but he sang and he played the guitar. These memories I have of him. So the house was filled with live music. Yes, the radio was on. Yes, we had eventually when I was about, I don't know, I think we only got a record player when I was between 8 and 10, something like that. So we didn't have, we had no money. So we didn't have one when I was a young child, but there was always music either being made or being played. And it was just a natural thing to be singing along with someone. I mean, that is my favorite thing. I think that's why I like working in a band. I love singing with people.
In the selection of the times, can you date like what was playing around you musically, like songs and stuff that you can say?
I can remember the very first single that my brother and I bought.
Okay.
Because why would I not? We saved out our pennies and our pocket money to buy ABC by the Jackson 5. First thing. We went, got a record player now. We want to buy them. And so my mother took her 2 children to the record store, and we bought 7-inch proper vinyl. Oh, remember that. So Jackson, I guess, and there would have been CV, and that's just kind of what we were listening to. My mum would listen to light jazz. She would listen to Akka Bilk, who is this kind of, I think he played the clarinet on the Radio 2. She would listen to James Last and his orchestra. We were kind of smooth, easy jazz, and then church music. So she didn't want nothing too raucous, nothing too loud. I mean, there's all the usual things of the day, the Beatles, the Stones. My brother was really into prog rock, if I remember rightly. And I often just listened to what my brother listened to. So we had Pink Floyd in the house. We had Iron Maiden in the house.
Okay.
And then there was things like Simon and Garfunkel. I really tuned into because of the harmonies when I was young. But apart from that, just the Temptations and Gladys Knight, and so a bit of everything was in the house, really.
So I get it. It's like rock, soul. I didn't hear James Brown, but we're getting close to it. You got.
Did we? I don't think I encountered James Brown until I was a little bit older. No. So James Brown came when not from in the house, but as soon as I started going out and listening or working with other people or singing with other people, then you get people kind of bringing you on James Brown, and everything from Mahalia Jackson I encountered then, and that's where my love of jazz probably, when I can probably date that, it's probably 82, 83. I started listening to Mahalia Jackson and Muddy Waters, and so kind of more blues. But that was because I was, one, I started dating a jazz musician, and I was also singing in an African High Life band. Don't ask me how those two kind of come together, but they do. So I listened to African High Life and Billie Holiday and David Sanborn and Coltrane. I never kind of ever got tramlined into one kind of music, because I was working with people that wanted me to sing on their stuff and would say, this is our influence, and then I would sing with them, whether that be doing sessions, whether that be doing gigs. Whether I was in a Latin band for a long time, although we rehearsed, but we never actually did a gig. Basement rehearsal jobbies, and there was always going to be a gig. Yeah, and I learned to play.
We're close.
I learned to play all kinds of percussion. I learned to play the shaker and the guiro. But we never actually did a gig. Yeah, yeah, and the cuica and the
clave. Did you hit the clave? Clink, clink.
Oh yeah, I did. Oh yes, my goodness, I can remember days. I can remember playing the clave, getting a bit excited. Oh gosh, and that's right. I used to sing in Portuguese. Yeah. Oh. And getting excited and smashing my thumb with the clave.
Oh.
Yeah. You got to hold it so. And yeah. Yes. And then they made me sing in Portuguese. Tem nada não, você tem razão. E convulsão, não se vivirão, não vou procurar, nem telefonar. Oh, yeah, that's all I can remember. Sorry.
I love it. We didn't even ask her.
I like memories coming from
memories of corners of our life. So back to
sorry.
Formally trained. So let's take it back. So I know your brother's playing piano, guitar, the whole deal. So are you formally trained? What's the story before the chops begin to show promising things?
I did not have any vocal training at all. What I did have was dance training. I went to a dance school. So I went to normal kind of secondary school. And then when I left there, I went to a dance school. Didn't sing at all, really. I don't even think we had vocal classes of any kind. It was just pure dance. But me being me was singing all the time. Between classes, in classes, if they played a show tune that I knew during class, I would sing along. So everybody knew I could sing. And then when I had a friend called Darshan Singh Bulla, who was, I think he was in the year above me. Once he graduated and he joined the company, the London Contemporary Dance Theatre, he created a piece that he needed a singer for because it was going to be live. It was a workshop. So not a full-blown performance, but he needed a singer who could cover a Stevie Wonder song, and I think it might have been a Ricky Lee Jones song. So there were two songs were in the same piece, and he needed somebody who could do both. And maybe he didn't know any other singers. I don't know. So he asked me if I would do it, and I said yes. And that was the first time I'd actually got paid to sing. So
what do you mean
I'd left school.
Wait. What do you mean you got paid to sing?
Paid to sing. Yeah, it's the first time I got paid. All them bands that I was in before, you might go and do some dodgy pub up in the north of London. I never got paid for that. That was love. If we did any, demos or anything, there was no money involved. It was just money and love.
This is love, baby. This is all about love right now.
You want to make music, so you want. So anyway, so there you are. So I sang for London Contemporary Dance Theatre, and because it's a major company, they had money, so they paid me. I was like, oh. So now I'm a trained dancer who's just been paid to sing, so I can, in theory.
But what kind of dancing are we talking?
We're talking contemporary dance. We're talking
jazz,
theatrical. Martha Graham technique was what the company was most known for. So arty stuff with your legs up in the air and
yes,
contemporary ballet. So I did that, and then I joined a dance company and was doing both for a while, and then I got myself into a musical because now I'm a professional singer and dancer, so I got myself into a musical. So I'm learning my craft as I go along. So I'm a dancer faking it.
Hang on.
Singing. Wait. But always, I was the youngest child of a family that sang, so I had always just assumed that you did, and that if two other people were singing, you just had to sing louder. So I had a really strong instrument with not too much control. It was just loud. And then if you get employed, and then people, and I'm a sponge. I was a sponge. I would look at somebody, I would see what they were doing, and I'd go, now that's a nice sound. How do I do it? And either I would just ask them directly, "Go, how do you do that?" And then they would tell you, or they wouldn't tell you if they were being a bitch. And so
they saw you as
a technique.
They didn't see you.
I was like a leech. I'd see somebody.
You're going to show me. You're going to show me how to do it, right?
And if you don't show me, I'm just going to hawk on you until I figured out what it is you're doing. Just even terms of what things were called, like singing in a head voice. What's that? I don't know. Singing in a head voice, using your chest voice, using your diaphragm, knowing how to breathe. My mum was pretty good. I mean, she made me, when I was younger, she made me very aware of listening to myself.
Don't miss the rest of this wonderful interview. Search for part 2 on the internet and listen to the rest of the story.